Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing fine. I know that I have been a bit absent for a while now from YouTube and social media in general. Since my last video, a lot has happened, and I wanted to return to YouTube for a while now, but I couldn't find the mental capacity to do so. But here we are, finally. While I talk a bit about where I've been, I'll play the footage of me painting a scene from my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, which is actually the last footage that I filmed before I left YouTube for a while. As the title suggests, life has gotten really stressful and hectic for me around summer. In May I started preparing my bachelor thesis and had to finish it until late August in order to be able to graduate this summer. So for the majority of May, June, July and until August, I have been writing my thesis paper. And on top of that, I had to finish some courses and classes I was missing to have the required ECTS points to be able to graduate. So I couldn't really enjoy the summer until I had finished my thesis and the missing classes in late August. So after all of that was done, I fell into a huge motivation slump. I just wanted to relax and practically do nothing after all that stressful time. I was super exhausted. I still did a few things to enjoy the summer. I visited some friends, I traveled around Europe and went to my first ever K-pop concert this summer, which was amazing. I thought I was getting back on track, and I actually filmed this footage of me painting Kiki from my favorite childhood movie, Kiki's Delivery Service. But despite me now having the time and mental space to paint again, the art wasn't arting. My sketches looked like crap. And I tried watercolours, it just wasn't working the way I wanted. Nothing looked up to my standards. Now, I don't know if my expectations were too high or if I lost all my art skills by not doing art for a few months, which I don't believe is possible. There's a saying, it's like riding a bike, you don't forget it, but for me it was certainly not like riding a bike. It was really frustrating. I wanted to continue painting in my new watercolor sketchbook, like I've promised myself in my last video. But the fear of ruining it was paralyzing me. So I didn't draw nor paint anything for a while again. This little painting you see here of me painting Kiki was kind of a guilty pleasure for me. Because I was missing my own inspiration, I just took a scene from Kiki's Delivery Service and drew it on watercolor paper. I was watching a lot of Ghibli movies at the time, because they really helped me battling difficult times. Painting this scene was really cathartic. As an artist, you're always told not to copy other artists, not to trace your inspiration pictures, not to do this or not to do that. But just letting go and painting something that wasn't mine originally, but that I could add my own spin to, really helped me in this difficult moment. I was stuck in the fear of creating my own art, but by getting back into the process of painting, my fear dissipated. The moral of the story for me is that you shouldn't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot do, because ultimately, art is supposed to be fun, at least for me. I'm not selling this painting or claiming it as my own, obviously, but painting it was really enjoyable for me. Now, after this, I had a short momentum of inspiration and I started sketching again, at least. But then one of the biggest life crises hit me, accompanied by a big art slump. and I stopped doing art again. After graduating this summer, I had to decide how to continue with my life. Questions of what should I do now, how I'm gonna earn my money, what's my goal in the future gonna be, and so on, plagued me. November was the worst month this year for me, which is really sad because it's also my birthday month. Ultimately, I've continued with the graduate program, so a master's degree after finishing my bachelor's degree this summer, but I still had to apply for funding and scholarships to finance my life. I had to work more than my capacity allowed for it at the time, because we had a staff shortage and several sick at work. I had to keep up with my studies, and life just got too stressful. In such a short amount of time, too many problems accumulated for me to mentally or physically cope with everything. I was so close to just quitting. It was a really, really tough time for me. And on top of all of that, I also got sick several times. I caught a mild cold at the beginning of the new semester in October, but then I got sick again about a month ago, and it didn't go away for over 3 weeks, and only now I've been recovering. For nearly a week, I didn't even have a voice to be able to speak. Now, slowly I have managed to deal with most of the obstacles life put in front of me, and I'm beginning to feel like I'm getting back on track. I'm so relieved that the Christmas holidays are upon us and I can finally relax and paint again. Especially this last week before Christmas, I've been drawing and painting a lot again. And contrary to my art slump this summer, now I don't feel so bad about my art anymore. I think what's most impacted my art slumps is that I didn't have the mental capacity to even think about drawing or painting. Now that the storm in my mind has calmed down, I can finally do art again. And honestly, I've been missing it. I couldn't be happier about finally to be able to draw and paint again. I have a lot of new ideas for paintings and videos I want to film. I'm more determined than ever to return to my art journey and continue improving and growing as an artist. What this year and its many struggles has shown me is that I need art to soothe my mind in difficult times, but I shouldn't get too frustrated when the art isn't arting. My expectations shouldn't be to create amazing, jaw-dropping art that generates a lot of clicks and views, but to enjoy the process and do art for my own happiness. I'm always seeing these amazing artists on YouTube and Instagram and all the social media platforms that create amazing art, and I get frustrated quickly. But I shouldn't let that discourage me. And I can actually use that for my own inspiration and motivation. Well, I hope none of you had to go through my hardships this year. But if you did, know that you're not alone. And I understand you. I am here for you. We can feel isolated and lost easily in this fast-paced and sometimes cruel world. Reaching out to my friends and talking to them about my struggles has really helped me. So, If you've struggled this year like me, or just want to get everything that has happened to you this year off your chest, write it in the comments or message me on Instagram or X if you'd like. Let's not go into the next year with a heavy heart. Let's stay motivated and inspired to create art. I hope to see you in the comments or in my next videos. Take care and enjoy the holidays.